people know this. People know that, like for example, people know that every relationship has ups and downs, right? Like guys do this all the time. I know some women too, but for example, guys like to campaign in their social circle, right? So if there's a guy, he has a girlfriend, for example, when that guy meets his girlfriend's friends, when he meets her friends, they start campaigning immediately. They start campaigning for votes because they know that down the line they're gonna need those votes in their favor, right? Every relationship has ups and it has downs, right? Most people know when I have a fight with my girlfriend or my boyfriend, right? With my lover, when I have a fight with them, they're gonna go get advice. They're gonna go get counsel from their friends. And I need those friends on my side because they're linked to your relationship whether you know it or not, right? So if the person that your friend is dating is not someone that they like, right, within that circle, that person might as well be a piñata, right? They're going to be taking shots at that person all the time, right? So prime example, let's say there's a guy, he has an argument with his girlfriend. His girlfriend is going to go talk to her friends. And if they like the boyfriend, they're going to say, "You know what? Give him another chance. He's not a bad guy, right? Just give him another chance, blah blah blah." If they don't like the guy, he's a piñata. Right? They're going to take shots at him. And it's not just um women who do this, it's also guys, right? It goes both ways. Guys do this too, right? A guy has trouble with his relationship. He has trouble with his girlfriend. He talks to his buddies. He wants advice. He wants counsel. The guys are gonna base their advice based on whether or not they like his girlfriend in the first place, right? If they like her, they're gonna say, "Hey, she's a good girl. Just maybe they'll tell him, hey, you need to give her another chance, right?" But if they don't like her, she's the piñata, right? They're gonna take shots at her, right? So people do this, right? But the reality of it is that even though your friends are gonna be giving you relationship advice, they don't know the half of it. Chances are they don't know the half of the things that go on in your relationship. They're not connected to the reality of your relationship with your lover, right? They're gonna contaminate the situation with their own personal biases and their own personal points of view, right? That might not be aligned with your points of view, right? The first thing that they're gonna do is they're gonna say, "Well, whose fault is it?" Immediately, they're gonna wanna cast blame, right? There's a problem in a relationship. The boyfriend goes to talk to his buddies. The girlfriend goes to talk to her girlfriends, to her friends. They wanna know, well, who's at fault? That's the first thing the knee-jerk reaction is, whose fault is it? Is it his fault or is it her fault? And it's not always a clear cut. The person that you're talking to might not be giving you the full story, right? There's a lot of layers to it. It gets kind of messy. So now there's the scavenger hunt on trying to find who's at blame, right? They're trying to find who's at blame, and then your friends are going to bring in their own personal biases. There's something called like trauma bonding, right? Trauma bonding is when someone has experienced a traumatic experience or an unpleasant experience that resembles your own or similar to your own. So they have an impulse to bond over it. They want that common ground, right? For example, if you got cheated and then your friend also got cheated, all of a sudden you have trauma bonding. There's common ground. Oh, you got cheated? Well, I got cheated too. Now you start talking, right? And you start getting advice from people that might not be dealing with their situation the way you should be dealing with your situation. Everybody's different, right? So the common ground that people have through like trauma bonding is contaminated with the other person's personal experiences, personal biases, right? And they're giving you advice, right? This impacts your psychology. It impacts your choices, right? You have to be very strategic and very careful on who you take advice from, right? Friends and family, they mean well, but they're not always going to give you the cold facts, or they're going to bring in their own prejudices based on their own experiences, right? So, as a friend, it's very hard to be objective sometimes, right? It's very hard to be objective, and you're both in the arena, right? You're both in the arena, and it's very difficult to know when you're mistaken because you're too close to the action, right? You're too close to the action, and you can't really understand or see what's going on unless you're in the sidelines, right? So some people have, like, there's an old saying that says, a fish doesn't know how it got caught. A fish doesn't know how it got caught, right? Meaning, if the fish knew how it got caught, then they wouldn't have gotten caught in the first place, right? They don't see it, right? So it's like there's a parallel to this with relationships where if you like someone and you don't know why, you don't know how you got caught, right? Like, oh, I like this person, I don't even know why, right? Or sometimes it's the other way around. Sometimes you have a failed relationship and people don't know why it failed. They don't have the slightest idea why a relationship failed. No clue. And it's simply because, again, a fish doesn't know how it got caught. Sometimes you're too close to you, you can't see it, right? People don't always have the self-awareness or the mental bandwidth to understand their own situation. And then these are the people that you're going to take advice from because you're looking for guidance, right? You need to be connected to your own truth, okay? Make your own decisions.